I've always been the first to do a lot of things. That's what they know me for.
Right.
So let me tell you a story. 1976 is when they started the Scare Straight program.
Mm-hmm.
And it was in New Jersey. And in my school, I was one of the people that they took to the Scare Straight program. And they took us to Rahway State Prison. We got off the bus, the students, we all walked in, and I saw some of the toughest guys on the street with scarves on their head, booty shorts. It was the most frightening thing I had ever seen in my life. And when we were able to leave, I was the first one back on that bus. And that fear to this day still exists. And when I see these young kids with the shootings, with the robberies, the domestic violence, the just beating people up, and everybody's tough until they call your number in jail. They take you, they give you your outfit, they give you your thin mattress, they walk you to your cell. You don't know what time it is. You don't know if it's dark or sunny out, and they shut that damn cell on your ass.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what you say? Damn, I wish I could have did it differently.
Let me tell you, I interviewed Eddie Mathis. He was a DC drug kingpin.
Yes.
He said that when he went to prison, he was seeing young guys in prison getting gang raped by like 30 older dudes at a time.
Yes.
Was rape a thing during those times?
Oh, man, it was commonplace, man, honestly. I mean, you could walk out your dormitory and see somebody grabbing somebody, 2 or 3 guys throwing a coat over their head, and taking them into a dorm, and you have 20 or 30 guys lined up to rape them. So it was commonplace,
If that does not make you not want to go to prison, that imagery right there. And if that's not enough, go watch the movie American Me.
Ooh.
That's what got me to never go to prison. I'm going to tell you that right now. Watching that movie in high school, I didn't have family that was in prison. I didn't hear prison stories. I had no idea how prison culture works.
Yeah.
I had no idea that men are getting raped until I watched that movie. And I remember watching it saying, yeah, not for me. No thanks.
My scary movie, but it wasn't really scary, Shawshank Redemption.
That was a good one.
I was catching cases during that time.
Aha. Okay.
So I never wanted to watch it. So now when I watch it, I have this relief thing like, whew, thank God I never really did no time, right? But when that came out, it was one of those shows I didn't want to watch, no prison movies or anything of that nature. And glad we on the same page. We don't want to see nobody go to jail.
No.
You think that you're tough? Let's say you are tough, but the conditions in there are horrific.
Yeah, and let me say this, because I've had a lot of deep, long conversations with guys that have done serious prison time, on and off camera. And the one thing this one guy told me, which always stuck with me, he said, a lot of these so-called tough guys, these shooters, these gangsters, they all do this type of violence from a distance, right? You're doing a drive-by shooting. You're shooting up a spot, whatever else. In prison, it doesn't work that way. If you got a problem with that person, you got to get right up on them. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to use a knife or you're going to have to use your hands. And 99% of the dudes don't want that type of situation.
Absolutely.
All these so-called tough guys, they get to prison and they play quiet. They turn into a totally different human being.
They sure do. They sure do.
Now, some of the dudes are with that, right? But most people, it's not like shooting a gun at somebody.
I didn't even think about it that way. You're so right. You're so right, because
you got to get right in that person's. You got to feel that person's breath on your face. You got to physically be able to take that person down.
Yes, and you see
and you don't know what they have on them,
and you don't know what they have
on them, or who they're with.
And yes, right.
It's a totally different
game changer.
Totally different game that you're playing in that prison.
Once you leave that outside world to go in there.
Yep. And there you go.